Hello everyone, and welcome to this video game review for Celeste. Celeste is a 2D pixel art game that involves climbing a mountain. That's the simple explanation. Honestly, this is a precision platformer that has very high amount of puzzle elements in my opinion, because I'll get to that later. Celeste is anywhere from a simple jaunt through a story about dealing with depression and anxiety to a hardcore platformer game that tries to be a combination of Super Meat Boy and Fez. This all depends on how far into the game you want to go. If you want to do just the story, the game is nice, simple, with some difficulty introducing mechanics as it goes, covering a story of a girl who's trying to climb a mountain just to prove herself. Except, is that really the reason? She doesn't really know why. And ends up dealing with a lot of anxiety and certain other psychological disorders, including ones that aren't her own. She does meet a couple people on the way up this mountain. Or it can turn into anything from a hunt for strawberries, a collectible item in the game, or the B-sides that you can find in the game, which are a more difficult version of the same level that it came from, with remix music. The music in this game, speaking of which, is wonderful. The remix music did actually help me get through the B-sides a lot. And those can be really difficult, and unfortunately start introducing even newer mechanics that would have worked all the way at the very beginning of the game if you'd just known about them towards the end of one of the later B-side levels. There's also some other hidden things, but I'm not going to go over those because of spoilers. But those are the major things that you find and come across pretty easy and are noted in your logbook, so they're not really spoilers. The reason that I say this is a combination of Super Meat Boy and Fez is it feels like it wants that precision level of Super Meat Boy and has that replayability of you died, start over, except you're doing that room by room instead of the whole level, because that's how the game is split. It's split by rooms. So if you fail at something or hit the reset option, you just start at the beginning of the room. No big deal. Like, in most cases, you just lose a few seconds of progress. If you're hesitating at certain spots, you could lose a couple minutes. The bigger issue is if you leave the map, if you leave the level to return to the map, you'd have to go back to the checkpoint. If you go back, you don't keep all the progress room to room. But you can stop playing and come back exactly where you left off, at least at the beginning of the room you left off in. So it's good for the pick up and play. And that's really important because this is the second game I've ever played that genuinely hurt to play. Super Meat Boy being the first one, for a similar reason of constantly having to hold certain buttons. In Super Meat Boy, it was the trigger, which did hurt a little bit at times on this, but more the directional pad. My thumb is still a little sore from that. That doesn't happen much, and I've been playing video games for 30 years. Regardless, this game honestly forced me to finally get a new controller for my computer, even though it's been breaking for a long time, primarily because of Dark Souls, not because of Rage. Because honestly, this game is so precise that I think it's a little messed up in its precision. There were many times where I was holding one direction and it went off into a slightly different direction, and the game is so precise that you need to have that done right. So if you're a little twitchy on directions, don't play this past the story, honestly. And that's pretty much my recommendation right there. Unless you want a challenge that will frustrate you, most likely, do not play past the story. Collect some of the strawberries if you want to, but don't bother with the B-sides. Don't bother with the other hidden stuff in this game that you could discover as you go. Just play the story. It's pretty good still regardless. The gameplay is nice for that, but painfully difficult past that. And even then, the base game can still be pretty difficult. It's a little troublesome how the game felt and how it scaled. I think it, at points, ramped up a little bit too fast and doesn't explain enough. Regardless, I recommend giving the game a try. Buy it on Steam or something that, if you don't like it, you can always refund it in the first 2 hours. But honestly, I recommend getting it and playing it. If you enjoy it, go for it. If you want the challenge, keep going. Otherwise, just enjoy the nice little genre. Oh, speaking of which, the pixelized graphics aren't that good in my opinion. I think this is one of those, it gets the idea across, but it feels like they purposely went too low on it, and the game still takes up a couple gigs in the process, which just makes me go, excuse me, what? But that's not really too much of an issue. Again, my opinion is, try the game out at least. If you like a challenging platformer though, yeah, you'll definitely like this game then. Regardless, that's all for now. I hope this was helpful. If it was, feel free to press the like button. Helps this video get seen more. If you think this will help somebody else, go ahead and share this video. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and press the dislike button. I won't mind, but please try to leave a constructive comment as to why. Also, if you feel like it, please comment in general. If you want to ask more of my opinion of the game, or want me to go into more detail of the stuff that I wasn't willing to cover here for spoiler reasons, go ahead. And if you want to see more like this, be it my video game reviews, my Let's Plays, or anything else that I do on this channel, feel free to subscribe. Regardless, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.